Rescue Freedom partners with 41 different organizations across 23 countries to create a global network of abolitionists who work together to end sex trafficking. Let's hear more about what they do. Tell me a little bit about Rescue Freedom.
So we exist to fight sex trafficking around the world. Human trafficking is the fastest growing criminal enterprise on the planet, and our mission is to take on the sex trafficking component and set people free from sexual exploitation and help them live in freedom. We have ongoing outreach programs on the streets in red light areas, offering medical clinics, feeding programs, where people are building relationships and saying, you know what, there's hope for you. God has a plan and a purpose for your life. One of the most powerful forces in the fight against human trafficking is survivors. A young woman who grew up in a brothel. She grew up in this red light area, and she got out, and she went through the program, through our local partners, graduated, went to college, went to nursing school. Well, all of a sudden, this girl comes back as a nurse.
Wow.
And she's caring for people in the brothels that she grew up in. So when that girl shows up and says, hey, there's hope for you, these women and these young kids are like, well, I can do that too.
I love that one of the things that you all do is to empower people to do what they love, to fight what they hate. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Rewind about 14 years ago, I was leading a trip up a mountain, and we decided to use that trip to raise money to fight human trafficking. One of the responses that I got was from people who were like, can I use other passions?
Wow.
And so we've just seen this snowball. People are using all kinds of adventures and activities to invite their community into the fight, to learn more, and then to take action to help set someone free. Since climbing is what Jeremy uses to fight what he hates, we're making the ascension up to Rattlesnake Ledge to hear more about the heart behind Rescue Freedom. When things get hard, what keeps you going? Oh, wow. A mentor of mine who was about 40 years older than I was, he had spent part of his life as a missionary kid in India. And so he was going back and invited me to go with him. And at the end, he said, you know, we have one day on the end, and I have these friends that have been rescuing kids out of brothels. They drove us on like a Friday night into the largest red light district in the world. And at the time, it was estimated that there were as many as 50,000 women and children in sexual slavery in 11 square blocks. Something in me just broke. I just was like, God, where are you? And they dropped us off at the hotel and said, tomorrow we're gonna go see the other side of the story. And they picked us up and they drove us outside the city to this home for kids under the age of 12. And I remember sitting in the car being like, I don't wanna go in. Like, I don't have anything to offer these kids. This is gonna be depressing. And they convinced me to get out, and we walked towards this home, and the first thing that struck me was the kids were singing. And when I met these kids and saw the hope and the joy in their eyes, I was like, okay, God, you're way bigger than I thought. I want people to know that God created them for freedom. One of the most amazing things that we can be a part of is changing the world, of making somebody's life better. But the only thing better than that is doing it as a community. It's not just about setting somebody free, it's about setting somebody free together and experiencing that as a community.
In 2020 alone, over 182,000 survivors, victims, and at-risk individuals were impacted by Rescue Freedom. After speaking with Jeremy and learning more about Rescue Freedom, I'm so thankful to be part of a church that strives to meet the needs of communities around the world. Because of your generosity, we've given over $130,000 to Rescue Freedom, and we've already been able to give $3.1 million in 2021 to serve people globally through outreach efforts. And we're just getting started. Together, we can make a difference.